Today I want to talk about the notion of knowing and the dangers that are hiding in that notion. Because often when we grow and learn more about ourselves, we get that feeling that we know a lot more. And the danger is that our growth stops on the level of knowing. Why is that a danger? Why is that a danger? Because that means that we miss a crucial step that allows us to transform, which is the step after knowing. One of my clients, I've just finished working with her as her coach. She put it into words really nicely while summarizing and giving feedback to our sessions. She said, it's not only hearing and knowing something, but applying it to my life. And that makes a big difference. And that's the difference of just knowing and applying that knowledge. And it seems from my own experience and also from the experience of working with my clients that that part of applying the knowledge is more tricky than one might expect. I catch myself on a weekly basis that I still have not applied something that I've known for a long time. I catch myself and I smile to myself whenever it happens, recognizing the pattern. And that's where finding and connecting with a great coach can really support us on this journey of changing the knowing into embodiment, shifting the knowing into embodiment. In other words, embodying the knowing. That's how I would summarize it. To embody the knowing. That's why I keep investing into coaches who help me embody my knowing. How does it happen? Well, basically, while working with a coach, what usually happens is that our awareness broadens, our perspective changes. That's great. That's where the knowing takes place. So we know more, we see more, we understand more. We start seeing ourselves and the world differently. That's a great achievement. But that's not enough for the transformation to take place. While working with my clients and also working with my coaches, I notice how that deep work can facilitate the embodiment of knowing. Basically, the coach walks with us hand in hand, supporting us into transforming that knowing into being. Let's take a look at some examples. What have I recently found out that I was good at knowing, but still not living it? And these are usually moments when I actually admit, wow, I've known it for so long, but I don't apply it in my life. I don't live it. So one of the things, for example, when we learn to not judge, but instead stay curious. Maybe you've heard that perspective. So when I was learning that perspective, first, of course, came the knowledge. And I was excited about it because it gave me a new perspective. Okay, instead of judging someone, something, a situation, a person, Stay curious. Sounds great. I thought, wow, this is life-changing. Well, when I stay curious, instead of judging, this will be really shifting the energy. Well, does it mean that there was this immediate jump from what I've learned to what I was practicing? No. There were many, many times, once I've learned that perspective, stay curious instead of judging, there were so many times when I kept repeating my old pattern. So where the judgment was taking place instead of curiosity. How does a coach help us to embody that transformation? It's basically by asking questions. And when we are blessed with a coach whom we have access to on a daily basis, and we can monitor our growth, then that awareness that there is someone in the background with whom we can communicate, with whom we can exchange our experiences, it makes that journey much easier. So with my work, with my coaches, I was able to stay more aware while trying to change my patterns or while working on changing my patterns. So basically, I was catching myself that I keep judging instead of staying curious. But because I knew that there is a person, my coach, in the background, it was like a reminder, Kasia, stay aware. If you still keep judging, that's fine, as long as you stay aware, because only then, when your awareness is there is a chance that you can start changing that pattern. So coach helps us stay aware because of those extra eyes that are directed in onto us. And when we have somebody who's watching, metaphorically speaking, it's easier to stay aware. It's easier when somebody reminds us by asking questions to stay aware. And when we stay aware, we can start shifting from knowing into embodiment. And that's how our patterns change. That's how our habits change, because many of our behaviors are habitual. We've learned to behave that way. We've learned to think that way. Knowing. It's a dangerous matter when we don't know how to embody that knowing. And it's a dangerous matter because it's got like a double layer. Once we know, it's harder for us to have this aha moment. So it's harder for us to be shaken. And we need to be careful that we don't stay on the level of knowing. We need to be careful and brave enough and curious enough and supported enough sometimes to dive deeper so that we can transfer that knowing into living our knowledge. How is it with you? Do you catch yourself saying, yes, I know that already? And when you say that, can you truthfully, authentically admit, I know that and I live that? Or did you get stuck without even knowing on the level of knowing? Treat this recording today as an invitation to reflect on your knowing, which areas in your life stay on the level of knowing, asking to dive deeper, asking to transform into the level of being instead. And if you, in your reflections, recognize many areas of your knowing that transferred already into living, share with me what that was. And was there somebody who helped you with the shift from knowing into living? Or did you manage to do it yourself I'm very curious of your stories. Thank you for being here, and see you soon.